Well, it'd be nice to have the sound on, right? I said I was just messing with you all, with the faces there, right? The scary faces. We're going to jump right into it. This is not going to be long, but I'm going to promise to do something every night this week. I have the time and the focus and the mind control. And just want to say that, like a cell phone battery, when you leave and say it's 100% of a charge, that, exactly, I got you. When you come back, you don't mind if it's 93, you don't mind if it's 75, you don't even mind if it's 65. When you come back and it's 13, when you come back home and it's 3%, either the battery is worn down or somebody's draining your battery if it's not you. And so that's why I wanted to speak about mind control tonight, because there's just so much. All of us, I have to say, are under some type of mind control, AKA witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. It's not something that's some spooky, whatever. It's done in a practical manner. And most of us, in our charge, most of us are not 100%. Most of us would be lucky if I could take a wild shot of it, if we're over 60%. In this world, you're doing good. Now, this is not some study that I saw and I could say a number. I'm kind of guessing it through experience. So bear with me. When I do say statistics, it's going to be that, a statistic, and proven and researched. That is not. That is just my educated guesstimation on the charge that we have in our lives. And every percentage that you get higher, closer to 100, you're doing real good. Why do I say this? Well, we have so many things coming at us out of the gate. Most of us, we sleep with our phones. We hold on to our phone until we fall asleep. We roll over on the phone and it feels hot, which that is no good for our body to have our internal organs on the phone like that. And we have things put in our head and we openly accept them. And it goes straight to the brain. No filter, because we're looking for something outside of ourselves. We don't get into the internal cleansing of our mind. We don't get into taking our minds back because we don't know that we don't have all of our mind. Simple as that. If you don't know, how are you going to know? It was like years ago when I did bodybuilding. I knew a lot about eating, right? But I didn't know everything at that time because everything wasn't as it is today. But I was ahead of my time. But I look back at some of the things that I used to do as far as the dietary practices before a competition. And I'm like, man, I was way off. See? And as we go on through life, we realize that, we can improve, and we say, wow, if I knew then what I know now, I would be so much better. So what is it that we should know now that the future version of us would come back and tell us, hey, this is what you need to do? Imagine that. I mean, you do trust yourself, right? So if the future version of yourself came to you now and said that you need to unshackle your mind because your mind is too caught up in so many things around us, and it's very profitable for others to have your mind controlled. Number one, you're not going to buck the system. You're not going to go against what is out there to have us with a herd mentality, sheeple. I'm kind of going out there, so let me slow it down a little more, right? Simple as this. I can't give you the numbers, but studies have shown that from as far back or recent as the 1970s, they said that because of the television, your mind was bombarded with X amount of ads. And you go in the car and you drive, or if you're a little kid back then like me, I'm whistling the jingle because it's in my head. That's a form of mind control. To be effective, to capture the mind of a child or an adult, to whistle the jingle for KFC, to whistle the jingle for McDonald's, or some cartoon that's going to come on, to get into your head and you have it over and over and over, that you get a craving for this. That's successful advertising. Don't think that they don't spend millions of dollars, some companies, right? If not more, to sit down around a round table to decide the most effective way to get to your mind to sell a product, to have you to want to go to an event, the colors in these ads, the sound, the music. I've learned quite a lot. That was my thing from very young, from like single digit ages. I used to see magazines and look at them and be fascinated. I don't care what magazine it was. I would open up the pages and I just didn't look at a pretty ad. But I would always ask my mother, my father, they knew I was a little different then, right? Who are these people trying to reach? Why is this ad the way it is? I was always aware of that. And as I got older and learned more about advertising, when I went to the High School of Art and Design in New York City, in Manhattan, we took some advertising classes and understood that this is a bigger deal on below the surface, more so than what people think. It's not just superficial. So now we have all types of things competing for our mind now because we walk around with our phones most of the time 24/7. And so when we open up a YouTube video or a website, ads pop up. We see them. We hear the jingles to different shows. We can watch older shows that we used to watch on TV back in the day. And that's another thing that puts us in a state of hypnosis because it's mind control, because it takes us out of the present reality. Now, I'm not knocking you if you enjoy an old television sitcom, but it's not just the sitcom that does it for you. It's somewhat of a comfort zone, because if I can remember, I would look at old episodes of Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, Flip Wilson, the Cosby Show, different types of shows on TV. And while I'm watching these shows, right, I'm not just seeing the show because I saw it already. What's comforting to me is that I can remember who sat around in the living room while we watched those shows. My father, my mother, friends, some people like my parents who have transitioned on. And it's that aspect of it that brings me comfort, but it's a very much a great attractant to keeping me watching that show. But the bad thing about it is that if we do this too much, we're taking ourselves out of the present reality. There's things we have to do right now. We have to be on our post and on point right now. Don't think this technology was given to us and it's by chance or just fell out of the sky. I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I have to say in a retroactive manner that most of the stuff that I've seen or I said was coming to a point, not that I'm a guru, I just opened my eyes. Let me tell you something. This last 2 or 3 weeks, since I wasn't well, had something like the flu, and then my throat, and then other things, taking antibiotics, and that ripped up my body, right? You take something for your stomach, it kills all the bad bacteria and the good bacteria. For me, it had me like this. I put in a whole day of work, whether it was online or offline, and I get home and couldn't sleep. I didn't get to sleep oftentimes till 10 o'clock in the morning, 12, 1 o'clock. The worst was I didn't get to sleep till 3, and I couldn't sleep more than 3 hours at a clip. So once I stopped taking the medication, it still took a few days for it to get out of my system. So I said, man, when I get out of this thing, I'm going to really make an effort to really stay focused, even with organisms that can get to you, not to be a germaphobe now, but I have relaxed a lot of things that I have done in the past. So after a week or so of deep meditation, there are many who have said, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? Nothing's going on bad. I had to get down to the deep core of who I am and take back control of my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. Not that I lost it, but it's like a tune-up that you do in your car so it doesn't get out of hand because of neglect. So in that, I discovered many things about myself. My resolve is even stronger than it has been before. And I've grabbed time in a way, which is an artificial construct. But right now I'm kind of riding the wave of time, and I'm getting more done than I ever did before, relaxed. If I sound a little tired, it's not because I'm tired. I just laid down for 3 hours. I think 1 hour I slept, and I jumped up, and something told me, put this show on. Now, tonight, Clubhouse, we're going to do something at what time? 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but I haven't made the link yet, but we'll be there. And there might be some clips and snippets and stuff I do into the night, and then I retire at a good time because I'm still somewhat of a night bird. But the main thing is that what I project is what will be. I am not under mind control. I'm not 100%. I'm wrestling to get the last 10% that I have, but at 90%, that's a high precision machine because I have cut off from all the things that would distract me. I cut off from all the things that would pull me into a different mindset. I'm taking control back of my mind. When you look at politics, how they rouse you up. And if the real problem in the world is over here, they, through their television debates and arguments and protests of the sheeple who believe one man in an office that never did anything for anybody, much less black people, is going to be your answer, and you're looking this way for the answer. You go to church, and you're looking up in the air for the Christ. And you have people who come in my comment section, oh, you should have faith. You should wait on him. But my great-great-grandmother waited on him. My great-great-grandmother waited on him. Grandmother, my mother, she took the goodness out of it, but she wasn't waiting on nobody. Same with my father. And it's that teacher that take from their book, you see, Everybody's waiting on something outside of them, and the seeds of greatness and the answer is on the inside of you, but you don't realize it because your mind is controlled. Because this world as it is, yes, there are two worlds, as I always say, and never forget this if you never remember anything else that I say. We have the engineered world that's man-made with all the lower vibrational emotions that go into it, the ego, the fear, the hate, the narcissism, and it will never work right for you. For some, it may appear for a time. And then you have nature, the perfect system. That's the ultimate manifestation of the creator. He's showing you in nature how he operates. He's giving you the answer right there. But we want to get away from the country and we want to get to the city and the condo. We want to get away from all things that are primitive. I was on the phone with somebody and I had a voice, a live stream going on, FaceTime. You could hear, oh, so primitive. But out in the primitive, you don't have nervous breakdowns because you have control of your mind. You wake up and you see the first thing. You hear the birds. You can smell the flowers. You can pick off a piece of fruit. You can sip some water by the stream. You're not on a commute, but you have to be somewhere at a certain time. You're not into people and mean mugging people and smelling alcohol and people passing gas and you're stressed. And remember, stress doesn't come from one source. We are stacked up with stress from all different types of places. And the perception can bring us more into a stressful place. The way we perceive reality. You keep watching CNN and MSNBC and Fox News. You keep listening to the gossip from people who don't wish you any well, but they want to bring you down in their mindset to focus on what they focus on because they don't have a life. I wasn't put here to be looking forward to the low vibrational gossip of somebody who acts like they're my friend, because you're not. I'm here to infuse my mind with something higher, to go higher than I ever been before, because we all were put here to be great. But most of you, and sometimes in my life, I couldn't ascend to those higher levels because my mind was controlled and there was a glass ceiling telling me I couldn't get somewhere when the glass ceiling was easily smashed and you go over and you go high. If you keep thinking you're a caterpillar and don't want to be in that cocoon, you'll never be a butterfly. We are made to transition, and we don't have to wait until we die to transition. We can transition on this earth in this short little lifetime that we have. Yes, I said short. It's not long at all. This is like a break to the bathroom when you're in a restaurant eating with friends. Straighten yourself up, ladies. Make sure your makeup is right. You go and do what you have to do, but it's just a quick break. A quick break from what? This is just a pit stop to eternity, but it's a very important pit stop. You don't see them at the races. What do they call it? What's the race there? Come on now, I'm out of Florida less than 2 years and I'm forgetting, which is a good thing, but they have the races over there in Florida, right? Forget what it is. It's not important to me because it ain't me and people that look like me going there. Anyway, when you go into the pit stop with the race car, they don't just sit there and do high fives and, hey man, how you doing? No, they get busy on making that vehicle better prepared to continue the race. They change tires quick. They change tires faster than you can pick your nose. Pop, pop, pop. That's what this life is. But we don't understand that because we're controlled. And our mind has been herded into places that we never thought we'd ever tolerate. You see, you think that this thing called social media is so great. We can use it for great things, but it doesn't mean that it's not used for the bad things, because see, we're focused on what we want to focus on. But we don't pull back to see the overall mission of why it's here, to control our minds, to introduce things into society that those of us who, if you'd want to call it old school, whether you call yourself a Christian or not, you're a person who you have a high moral value. You're not going for the okie doke. We had community that wasn't going for certain things. We were unified because we didn't have things clogging up our mind. So now they introduce pictures of little black boys kissing old white men, making evil fair seeming. So we know what it is that they're introducing the pedo word, pedophilia, right? They might just stop the stream now because this is what they want to use these things for. Oh, LANCESCURV is talking again. Yeah, Daytona 500. And I'm glad I forgot it because that's part of my detox of America. He's starting again. People want their rights. They want their rights to put on a dress. They want their rights to rip out a womb, take chemicals, lie to themselves in the short life that we have because their minds are controlled. And so they put these people up as being iconic. They put these people up as being great. But guess what? If I tried to call, when President Barack Obama was president, if I tried to call him and had something worthwhile to say that was something going on that he can take care of, which you know he's not, unless I had a certain way of talking. The way to get President Obama to call you or Bill Clinton is to come out gay. So even they're controlled because those are the orders now of the day. Homosexuality, pedophilia, next is bestiality. After that, believe it or not. And it's already happening. You can marry an animal. But along with all the other things that are going on, these things are put in place because if we had the spirit of the 1960s, the 50s and the 60s, middle 60s, black folks, I'm talking to y'all in America. If we had that spirit, that if we had differences between ourselves, that no matter what, we can sit those things down now and move forward because we have a unified agenda to make some kind of change or to stop certain activity from happening. But now when you hear the word agenda, you think of the beautiful rainbow, but it ain't so beautiful. But how come they got the rainbow and they use that and they don't use the color brown? They playing enough brown stuff. Brown should be in their rainbow, separated from the other one. And yeah, that was a joke. You playing in doo-doo, but you want to talk about something and make it beautiful. Yeah, I said it. Thumbs it down, I don't care. It ain't hate speech, it's the truth. And our sisters are out here looking for real men, and you running past these beautiful sisters, running up to go and play up in the next man's butthole where there is no life. This is a manufactured, twisted thing that is an agenda, and a lot of people who are into these things, oh, there's no agenda. Well, of course not. You're going to say there's no agenda because that's what you like. You like that. Go ahead and do it. Go close your door in your bedroom and go do it. Doodle in a bucket and pour it all over you if you like it. Why do you need rights for that? You've been doing it. But black people are being killed, shot down, poisoned worldwide because they're doing it here in Africa. But yet we're mind controlled down in our TikTok. TikTok like a clock. So what does the clock mean? TikTok, that means time is running out. YouTube shorts, little short clips, shorts that you can use one thumb and be titillated. The music comes on, and fellas, you know, you see the African girls with the hips, the black women with the hips, they're dancing. And you sit here for 10 minutes, didn't get out the bed yet. Don't even know what you're going to do for the day. Yes, our women are beautiful, but the enemy uses all things good against us. You are at home, I'm checking out the women, but you 10 minutes later on what you should be doing. Even on your day off, plan to rest. Have a plan for every single day. How do you build a house without bricks or cinder blocks if that's the kind of house you're going to build? There's always going to be somebody in the comment section, well, they have sandbag homes there. I understand that. But each brick took time to make, or cinder block took time to make, and it has to be laid properly. And that's why you have separate days. But you don't get anything accomplished. You got that yard that needs to be cut, that pile of clothes that need to be cleaned. You got to clean out your refrigerator, whatever it is you have to do, but you can't do it because you on TikTok. Your mind is controlled. You're not doing what it is that you have to do for yourself. And so now our minds are being poisoned. So now, after seeing certain things over and over and over again, guess what? Doesn't shock us anymore. I remember my father had a client on 4th Street. No, not 4th Street, Christopher Street, right by 12th Avenue. If you know New York City, for the longest, Christopher Street is probably the gayest street in New York City. All in the village now, but it's all over the city. But he had a very affluent client that owned property there, and it was a landmark property that he was qualified to maintain the flow of the original beauty. So he took me with him because he always showed me the city anyway. And he showed me, as I always say, life, and he explained things to me. So I didn't have any curiosity to get into things, no, nothing like that, but the other things. So I was sitting down on the front steps. The client had a son who was a couple of years older than me. So it was safe to sit down. And I saw this tall woman leaning up against the car with a dress on, and the feet looked big, and the Adam's apple stuck out, and the hands were huge. And I ran upstairs. Daddy, look outside. That looks like a man. He's like, son, it is a man. And he told me all about it. And across the street was a gay bar named Badlands. And on the Christopher Street dock, nothing but homos out there. So he explained to me all that. And I knew it's a certain spirit. And I'm not picking on homos right now all night because I'm not going to be long. But there are different type of strongholds, different things. So even before we had the internet and social media, there was mind control going on. Because also it's spiritual. Because when your mind is controlled, the door is open and certain spirits come right on in. When you know you have no mosquitoes in your house for that night, the screens are intact, the doors are closed, and you go to sleep, and you have other people living in the house, and you have a kid, a child, teenager, who is in the bad habit of opening the door and standing in the door, talking to their friends. Well, you let the mosquitoes in, so when you wake up, you already know somebody was in that door and had it open. You didn't open a window. Who did it? Stop doing it. But we open up our minds like that teenager to all kind of things. And if we don't have the righteous filters on our mind, it will go right on in. And for some of us, it'll be a dopamine hit right to the pleasure center of the brain. And just like crack, that was so powerful. I don't know what happened to crack. Crack is still around, but it's not focused on that much. We got a lot of crackheads out here, right? That thing was so powerful. It was more powerful than sex. I mean, sex is powerful. I kind of like sex. But don't tell me this thing is more powerful than sex. Mainly orgasm that hits the brain, the pleasure center of the brain. I'd rather be addicted to that than crack. But I have a theory even with that. Me, personally, you can put me at gunpoint and force me with a crack pipe. So we're going to blow your brains out. And you did it to 3 other people, right? So I know you'll blow my brains out and I want to live. You see, suck on that crack pipe. And I'm sitting here, damn. And I feel what it is that they talk about. But you know what though? My character is too strong to get addicted to that mess. I'm not putting nobody else down because very strong people have been, but I'm out there. If it's anybody that's going to whip crack, that's going to be me. And I know that because like I always say, I know the beauty of clean living. That doesn't register with me. You can force me to drink all the alcohol. I'm not going to be an alcoholic and tell the people, oh yeah, come on, let's go out for drinks. What? Poison myself? No, I have too much pride, too much love for myself, too much character. I am not good. If you force me to do it and you think you're going to make me that, you ain't going to do it. Because I've conquered so many other things from before. My mind is not controlled by that. And in this last week or two of solitude, I have brought my charge up a couple of more degrees. And I like the way it feels. It's like I can read minds now. It's like whatever comes around me, I can feel it. I love feeling like Superman. I love having these powers. I don't like being reduced and don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing for the day because all these different things have been planted in my mind. I don't like that stuff. That's good to whistle and sing and enjoy certain things. Don't get me wrong. I use music as a motivational force. You want to hear what I use in the morning as motivation? Sound Soul Orchestra, Magic Bird of Fire. If that don't wake you up when I'm taking my shower, do, 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 do. Come on now. Play that song and you see how I start my day. But I don't get into that until I'm ready to get up out of the bed. And when I'm ready to get out of the bed, I know what it is that I'm going to do, what time, what I like to do. And even in the middle of the day, when I hear that voice that guides me, well, don't do it this way. Go this way. Do it that way. And just like today, everything worked out perfect. But if we're controlling our mind, we can't hear that voice because the engineered world is pulling on us. But the natural mind, you got to pull it back. You have to be 100% or strive for that within yourself because this world doesn't want you to do that. So your mind is so confused with everything that's going around. And they can take over your mind and you can't have yourself to yourself. And you worry about your children and you say they're so rebellious. We've always had rebellious children, but these days it's even worse. Why? Because those cell phones that you bought them and that computer that you bought them is a lethal weapon that you need to have some control over. But we don't want to do that because, we want to be friends with our children. And they go on and make bad decisions. And now we got to try to lie to them to make it seem like it's okay. Well, it's okay, little daughter, that you had 18 babies. You'll make it. God will take. You should have been watching them when they were young. You have first dibs on the mind of your children. And you go on like you're opening the door to let all the mosquitoes in. You give them a phone and a computer and all this time. What you think they're looking at? National Geographic? Oh, they look at the Nature Channel, all right. And there's a whole lot of mating that they're looking at too. And you wonder why they end up the way they do. People say, oh, you're so strict. No, it's not a matter of being strict. You don't want to throw your youth away because we'll have no future. How's the song go? I believe the children are our future. Well, you throwing away your future. And this is why in 2022, I'm not blaming the children. But what's going to come out of what we're allowing them to do? More Sodom and Gomorrah. And you say, oh, I love them and I support them in filth? I don't care what it is. You think I'm just talking about LGBTQ or same gender loving? I'm talking about the alcoholism, the crazy sex. You got mothers who are allowing daughters to keep boys in the room. Well, I'd rather them be with that one than out there running around. How do you do that? That's impossible. It's not going to work out. We're so off. We've lost our sense of community. We don't have community anymore. We have neighborhoods. We don't have community anymore. But you can walk over and tell a neighbor what their children were doing when you weren't around or they weren't around. You get cussed out because the kids are going to act up if they don't have their daily dopamine hit of filth. And so we got all these things putting itself up as the answer. So you say, Lord, I'm gonna I got to get back to the church. The church ain't what it used to be. I'm not going to say it was all that, but it's not what it used to be. It's not. And you going back into another place that puts you in more decadence. It's hero worship, celebrity worship, pastor worship. Give up your money and don't give a damn about you. Stay out of these hellholes called church. You think spirituality is going to be learned there? It's more carnal than anything else. Watch some of these gospel awards. You want to see some titties? They pushed up. They sing the name of the Lord. And ain't nobody looking at listening to the words. They just hope it pops out. It's more carnal. It's more worldly. And the worldly stuff that's going on is so, I can't believe even me, who's seen everything sexual with my eyes. You think it? I've seen it multiple times, and I'm on this thing looking like, what the heck? What am I seeing? And the kids are watching. And so pedophilia is being pushed. It's the next thing. It's already here. They already put all the, what do you put, when you gas a home before you burn it? I mean, it's everywhere. But I know some guys in New York City, they were paid well to torch a home for insurance reasons for the owner. Come on, Lance, you want to make some money? Nah, man, I don't want to be bothered with that. But I know a dude who he owned one in an intersection, a small intersection. I ain't calling no names, right? But he owned one corner, had a store in one corner, torched that bad boy, burned it down. And in 3 years, he owned every corner in that intersection. I can't even tell you what kind of business it is because people who are in the know, they'll be like, why are you telling? I'm not telling. But he did that. But see, why did I bring that up? Well, you know, when you have a structure you want to burn down, there are key areas that you want to focus on. But you basically drop that gasoline, you know, all over the place. And so when you drop the match on it, it goes up. So because the structures, our families, our neighbors, we're struggling with different things, but we're still here. But we've been gassed already. We've been set up to be taken out quick. And trust me, we're way off from where we should be. The lifestyles we're trying to live, even heteros, trying to have harems, just because, what? Ego? You want to, I mean, I know about all that stuff, but what I'm saying is that whatever you're doing, it's just time to stop. If it's not bringing you into a better place. I'm not no preacher trying to say, well, support the LANCESCURV ministry. No, I ain't got no ministry. I'm just a dude here who's talking with you, real. You had a little fun? Get the wholesome fun. Put yourself in a good position. Because really and truly, we don't know what can happen any day. You see China and Russia, they tight. They the real gangsters. They throwing all kind of, you know, over America. America's investing in more weaponry. Is that the way to go to bring peace? China has problems, but they're still all over the world. Russia got it going on with the ruble, making everybody paying that to set the dollar up, like Brother Dave said, and he predicted that, and it's coming true. I see these folks on the news saying certain things like it's something new. Brother Dave already said it. I got to get him back on this week if I can. I know he's very, very occupied this time. But the bottom, we're set up on all levels In New York City, they're teaching people or telling them how to deal with nuclear fallout or if a nuclear bomb. Why are they saying this so much? What are they? Let me tell you something, y'all. Watch on 911, right? Didn't get them. How'd they know? They got a special antenna in their head to go? No, they were told to not be there. They knew something was going to happen. They didn't show up to work that day. Whatever law firms or entertainment, law, whatever, nobody showed up of that persuasion. So if you're in a situation, you look around and, hey, where's Mr. Golden? Silverstein? And they gone, they called out, I'm out, get out, like the movie said. And that movie wasn't a fluke. They were telling us something. But they'll tell you something that a few years go by, and then you can put things together. Hidden in plain sight. This is what they do. But like I said, who has control of your mind? Because it's evident that most of us don't have control of our mind. We don't. And if we do have a semblance of it, it's a very low percentage. And we're not operating at a full capacity because it's much more than a physical threat. See, they make you fear certain things. They make us fear each other. They make us fear this and that and monkeypox and COVID. Now, all of a sudden with COVID, they say, oh, well, they're going to reduce, maybe we've got a resistance toward it. What? A resistance? Out of nowhere? It came out of nowhere and we built up a resistance like that? Was it ever really an issue? Was it something they were putting out there? Come on. We got to stay focused. We got to know where it is that we have to go. We are the president of our lives. We're the ones that make the decisions, the important decisions over our lives. Don't make them think that you're impotent to do that. Don't let these old freak shows, brothers, make you leave your woman. Don't make all this stuff, ladies, make you leave your man because this other one can give you more money and all this stuff. I'm 60 years old next year. What am I going to be doing 30 years from now? Really and truly. Am I going to be popping Viagra and run after young girls? Better be glad I can stand up. I know I'll be able to stand up with my legs. I don't care about this. At that point, I'm trying to hold on and see another day. What's important to you? Pull yourself up out your funk, right? Because this ain't 1980. This ain't 1970. Those days are gone. We're in a different world right now. And those of you who wake up and say, man, what happened to the world? Because that's the same thing. This is not the world I anticipated. This is not the world that I thought it would be when I was in elementary school trying to get my grades good, always want to, and I was always in the best classes. But I knew something was wrong even from back then. That something didn't match up. See, we're seeing the manifestation of it now, right? But things were laid in place strategically, right? Surgically engineered, like an engineered demolition, where they put the bomb in strategic places, and when they blow off, like the World Trade Center, everything comes straight down the way they wanted to. And Black people and Black communities all over the world, we're coming down the way they want us to. I'm not going to sit here and just say all these glowing things to make you feel good. I'm telling you, this is like a round table. This is like in war. When they get them long things, they say, we've been bombed here, we've been bombed there, we have our troops here, we need to get them over here. We got to be strategic, but it's damn near too late. So we're going to have to back out of certain places. It's too late. Let me see right here. I got a bad connection. Okay. I'm sorry. I got my phone right here. I got my brand new, I hate to say it, Chinese phone right here. I'll tell you one thing. This works better than any iPhone that I ever had. I enjoy this phone better. It feels better, looks better, operates better, and it only costs me, I'm going to tell you straight up, 785 CDs, with the rate of the CD going around $1 for 8 CDs, because the Ghanaian currency actually is like one of the worst in the continent of Africa, to be honest. So whatever it is in the world, you got to get it now, because finances are going to be all over the place. But this phone here is the equivalent, I'd say, let's just say a little less than $100. So we got to get this name brand stuff up out of our head, right? Oh, it has to be this and it has to be that. So what now? If you're barefoot and walking over glass and there's some no-name shoes right there out of Walmart or somewhere, and it's not a name brand, you'd rather walk over glass and put the shoes on as long as it serves the purpose? Because I'm all out of this world with that stuff. Anything I do and I put honor on it like that is something that I create with my hands or out of my head, right? Now, I didn't know the time was slipping. I got to get out of here another 10 minutes or so, make the link for the Clubhouse show. But I'm going to do these talks every night. I say 10 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock your time, but I might play around the time because, old man got to get his naps in, right? So he can keep up with the youngins out here. But like I said, this world is not what I thought it would be. This is like science fiction. This is a Franken-trans world. Like Frankenstein, I say Franken-trans. And there's so much diabolical stuff going on, but it's not new. It's been here for a long time, but the covers are being pulled off and we don't see it because we're distracted. Our egos. We want the best car, most expensive. Black folks are the only ones who brag about being in debt. You get the same model Mercedes-Benz as your neighbor, and they paid $80,000 for them. I paid $90,000. You bragging about being in debt, but you don't know what's going on with your liver. You don't know what's going on with your kidneys. You don't know what's going on with your bloodstream. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow or not. Young kids getting shot down. Young kids going to bed and not waking up, and they don't know the reason why. And here we all get to over 50, over 60, over 70, and we going on with little young boy and young girl kiddie school games. Not being appreciative that we've been here this long and have a storehouse of experience that could be used as fertilizers for the young saplings coming up. And we're held in this place of suspension. And I do blame YouTube and all of those videos for that. Why? How do I make that connection? Are you losing your mind, Lance? Like I said before in other shows, when you watch these videos, it takes you back and you begin to feel like you did at that time. Come on, y'all. I remember it was the early 80s, and this is the example I use. Michael Jackson was at an awards ceremony, and it was the first time, it was Billie Jean he was singing, and toward the end of it, he moonwalked and got up on his toes, and he said he messed up, but it bedazzled everybody. All day the next day. See, and I got some chamomile tea here too, so let me sip on that. Might fall asleep on y'all. All day the next day. That's all everybody talked about. But there was no replay that you could play. If you missed it, you heard about it. But now we can go back and play it over and over again and feel the same way. And that was in the early 80s. So our perception of time is thrown off. We have brothers out here who, whether they're in good shape or not, they forget that they're 60 years old. Doesn't mean you have to keel over and act like an old man. But the games you play, you shouldn't be playing. You need to know where your blip is on the radar screen. Because when you get to those ages, you're closer to the transition than you are from birth, right? So these things in our head, being controlled by the external, how we see ourselves, this is why we're off. And we're soaking these things up. And we're bringing our own destruction because we're not seeing life in the world the way we should. And if we did, and we had that effect on the people around us, we don't have to try to save the whole world, but at least influence those around you by being an example. Sometimes that's better than telling and preaching. Because when people around you feel the fire in their behind, they're going to come to you and say, why is it that you have such peace of mind? Why is it that you can have that stick-to-itiveness and focus and be steady the whole time, up and down and up and down, and even when you think they're not, on the inside, they are. Lots of us. We know, person got it together, damn near a mansion, 3 or 4 luxury cars, businesses running almost by themselves. They go home and put a bullet in their head. We don't know. Right now, for me, I'm the most centered that I ever been. Not that I was unhappy, but things piss me off. I look mean sometimes, but I'm at peace with myself more and more. I've accepted myself. I accept where I am. I accept my mission, and I accept what it is that I have to do with the time that I have remaining. I'm cool with that. I made peace with that. I'm not looking for happiness externally. Oh, I got to get a video that have 5 million hits. I gotta get this mansion. I got to get this. I got to have 10 women. Yeah, 10 women. I got 1 penis. What do I need 10 women for? Right? So it don't work. Let's get ourselves back to where we have to be. Let's recalibrate ourselves back to where we have to be so we can cut through this life. When you have a hot knife that's sharp and it cuts through the cheese so easy, we need to have ourselves sharpened versions of ourselves, very efficient versions of ourselves, that when we think to do anything is effortless. Why is it now that, unlike the time when we were children, I don't know if you could remember that, when you ran outside, unless you had a health condition and you were going to play with your friends, you running. You forgot to eat. Your mother had to call you back, or whoever raised you. You out there all day in the summer vacation, no schoolwork, you do your chores, you're playing all day, you're tired. You didn't even realize you're hungry until you get inside and eat when your mama calls you or whoever raised you. But now you can sit here on the bed. Oh man, there's stuff all on the counter, stuff on the floor. I just don't have the strength to get this done. But you got the strength to run your mouth and gossip about somebody. You got the strength to have ill will towards somebody. You see, when you have these kind of emotions, you're only choking yourself off. You're hurting yourself. When you come against people and say, oh, don't deal with them, they're evil people, but you got evil in your heart toward everybody else. You want to take over and control and run the sea. Your mind is controlled because even though we can speak spirituality and righteousness, we're doing the things of evil because of what we really honor. See, simple as that. Don't go by that. Go by the action. Go by the fruits. People can say anything. People can look at words and copy them and say them and just convince you, oh man, this person's so great. That's why half of us are fooled with these old bastard pastors. These bastard pastors, sneaking deacons. Ain't nothing holy about them. I'm not afraid to say that. And you go hook, line, and sinker. When Eddie Long had all that money paid back to those young men, why are you paying it back? I'm not paying nothing back on something I didn't do. And you got all that money to pay it back. And the dumbass congregation that sat there after all of that, there should have been nobody left there. Of course, they didn't see him doing it. But the first 4 and then a 5th one that I just missed doing an interview with long ago, about 10 years ago, whenever that came out. And he gave up millions. I ain't giving you 2 CDs or $5 or whatever it may. I didn't do it. No, I didn't. But see, this to show the hierarchy that's out there, because since I brought that up, I'll say this. They didn't want a federal investigation on that because you got to pull cell phone records. No matter how much you try to destroy things, the feds will get you. And it wasn't just him involved in stuff like that. I believe you had judges, you had sheriff deputies, cops, other politicians. When you have that kind of money and you know the secret handshakes, you're involved with a whole lot of people. So it's like, hey, Eddie, You don't have it? I got it for you because we arranged that little rendezvous with them boys and I don't want to be discovered. So you better do the right thing. Pull the curtain back. Don't we have enough lessons in this wicked world, not the good world? So don't get confused when I say wicked world. I'm not saying the world I'm in is not wicked. I got to dip my foot into the wicked world when it comes time to pay bills, do business, whatever, and I'm out of it. Anybody who knows me, I'm a man of solitude as much as I can talk. I don't follow behind nobody. I don't run behind nobody. I don't make nobody my leader. I can sit right here on a cerebral level just the same way I did when I was a young child, drawing pictures, listening to music, doing my homework, thinking, and eventually I'm lifting weights in my room, doing my homework. You can't isolate me. You can't make me feel bad when you don't invite me to your party because I ain't going no way. I am my party. Look at the 21 years of work that I produced. And I don't say that on an egotistical level. I'm just saying it is proof. That's what it is. And the more I can have time like this and focus in on what my mission is, it's almost like squeezing toothpaste out of the tube. See, I'm trying to get all the toothpaste up out of my tube before I transition to the point where you rolling it up, squeezing it up. The top part, you're pushing it to the side, you're sticking the brush in there, and then eventually you take the end, unroll it and put a knife in there and scrape it out. And you don't want to go out and get no toothpaste. I'm getting it all. Being mind controlled, you are not living a full life. Being mind controlled, you're not feeling how vibrant life is. Even when you're outside on a beautiful day and the sun is shining on you, you don't even feel it. How many times have we had challenges, which most people say are problems, and you got something heavy on your mind and it's a beautiful day and you say to yourself, man, I'm not even feeling this day because your mind is controlled and clogged up with all of this stuff that you let get in it. We can't help but be exposed to the stuff. But it doesn't mean we have to let it permeate our being and allow us or cause us to act out in a way that we won't act out. You watch a Rocky movie, everybody wants to fight. You watch a Bruce Lee movie, everybody wants to do karate. Well, guess what? Big ass women out here who do look beautiful and have a physical beauty to them. When our sisters see that, they want to do that too. When they see the ratchet fights with the brothers, they want to do that too. We're so easily influenced. They take things out of the proper context and give it to us, and we morph into that. Instead of saying, no, that's not for me. This is not what I do. There's a time and place for everything. But we're the elders, we're the older folks who are going to tell them that. They in the club popping too. So if the little kids see that and the things they overhear, what do you expect? Anyway, I do have to run, and I wish I can acknowledge everybody, but that would take away from the time of the message. And we'll have shows where we can greet and talk and have people call in. But I'll be back tomorrow night. Don't want to overdo it. We're going to do this Clubhouse show. I'm going to make the link right now. So the LANCESCURV show on Clubhouse, it will be there. It'll be Universe Coach and myself, and we'll be vibing. And what did she say the topic is going to be tonight? I'll put it in there. But anyway, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's all I ask. Share it if you liked it, because you know how YouTube does me. I've been at 108,000 subscribers for the last 2 years, and I've been getting a lot of subscribers, but it doesn't go nowhere. You know how they do. They want to shadow ban us. But if I put on a dress and a blonde wig and some makeup, forget it. I have 1 million hits in no time. If I was talking bad about my sisters, I'd have 1 million hits in no time. All these different things, right? Or if I was Republican and saying, you know, the niggers across town, they're the problems, whatever, I'd have 1 million subscribers in no time. But you know what? I already know I do. They just don't show it. That's what it is. You got to have that confidence in yourself to be able to walk alone on your mission, even when it seems like it's not popular. You hold true to what you know is the right thing, and don't walk in fear. And for those who say that I came to Africa to start talking, look at some of the old videos that I've done. I always talk. I'm a comedian also, but when it comes time to say the truth of what I see, I'm not going to hold back. That's just the way it is. Anyway, what happened here with my music? Let me bring my music back so I can play a little bit while I get on this show and set this link up. But leave your comments below after the video is off, and I will be participating in the comment section a lot more because I want to have a more organic connection to everybody and build a community online, not just something to see or something just to ape up and act up on and just for attention. I'm too old for that. I'm gonna play the old man role for real. No, I'm too old for that. Anyway, let me let you go, and I have to get out of here. We'll be on the show. Play a little song, and these files are right. Yes, they are. So anyway, salute to my brothers. Mwah. Much love to my sisters. We'll be back tomorrow night. Leave the comments and stuff. LANCESCURV.com is where it's at. If you don't see me and I'm banned on YouTube, go to LANCESCURV.com. We have every single thing there. And there'll be some things that I don't show on YouTube and can't. So always, every now and then, say, hey, let me see what he's doing over there. I'll always have some goodies for you. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. There we go.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, oh yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out of mine. I just stopped thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, oh yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out of my mind. I just can't stop thinking about, yeah, you got me feeling some type of way, you make me wanna stay in all day, you're the reason I can't get out of my head. Just stop thinking about you. I just can't 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 stop thinking about you.